Hello. So this is our photo today where we're starting off, and it's two teenagers kissing. So it's about relationships. And today's reading is from a website called parents.com. So we'll go flip over there now and look at the reading. Okay, here we go. So it's titled Situationships Are the New Teen Romance. Here's what parents need to know. Written middle of May, 21st of May, by Lydia Wang. Lydia Wang. And it says it's been reviewed by a PhD as well. Okay, that's our little photo. That's a Getty image. And then it very kindly brings out several key points. I imagine that this is, if you read the whole article, this is what you could summarize it down to. So I'll read the summary to you, then I'll hand over to Michael. So parents don't need to panic if their teen says they're in a situationship. They should be prepared for potentially awkward conversations about healthy romantic relationships. If your kids are talking to you about their dating life, you probably have a strong relationship already. But keep those lines of communication open. So, any questions from anybody, first of all? Any questions? Does that make sense what I've just read, or any other questions?
No, it's okay.
That's great. Okay, let's get going then. So, Michael, can you start off with us this first little bit here? It says your teen's been. It says there.
Yeah.
You okay to do that? Thanks.
Your teen's been spending a lot of time checking and smiling at their phone. They're getting a little more dressed up than usual for weekend plans. Oh, and they've started casually but constantly referencing a new person they've been talking to. But you have a gut feeling that this person isn't just a new friend. All of these little signs seem to point to the same conclusion. Your child is in a burgeoning relationship. So when they come to you and describe this person as their situationship, you immediately draw a blank. Are they in a friends with benefits arrangement or some kind of nebulous leading up to a relationship stage? Is this just a more relaxed way to describe a relationship that is, for all intents and purposes, an exclusive and loving one? Amidst, amid, amidst all these questions, parents might also be asking themselves if they should be worried about their kids' relationship status. Ahead, psychologists who work with adolescents unpack everything to know about this increasingly common type of relationship and offer their top tips on supporting your kid as they navigate this potential sticky situation or situationship.
Yes, situationship. Yes, I thought it was very good, very good. Anything that wasn't clear to you, anything you didn't understand, or want help with, or think that you're not perhaps pronouncing it quite correctly?
Uh, but in the first paragraph,
Yeah,
but you have a gut feeling. Gut, it's something bad feeling. What
yeah,
does it mean?
that's it. Yeah, so here, isn't it? This is a bit here, but you have a gut feeling. So a gut feeling is, I think they say we all have a lot of, there's a lot of nerve endings in your guts, in your tummy area. So your gut is your tummy, your stomach.
Ah, yes, it's like colon.
Could be your bowel. Most
No,
people think of it as your stomach, but it's probably more your bowel, I guess. If we're being technical.
like
So
butterfly
yes,
in your
it's
stomach.
something like that. But I suppose butterflies in your stomach is more to do with having nerves about something. If you're anxious about something, that might be butterflies in your stomach. That's a feeling of in your stomach that we describe as butterflies, and you get that if you're nervous about something. But having a gut feeling is not really the same thing, but it's another. It uses a similar sort of metaphor, I guess, but it has a different meaning. So if you have a gut feeling, it's more like an intuition. You have an idea about something that you can't point to any evidence, maybe. It's just a feeling that you have. So it's a hunch, an intuition. That's basically what a gut feeling is. Um,
Neutral feelings, or it's more negative. Oh,
it could be either way. It's not, you can't really tell from that if it's good or bad. It's just that you have an intuition about something. No, so it's not necessarily bad or good. It's just a feel, just a feeling. So feelings aren't good or bad necessarily, are they? We just don't know which way they are. I suppose you might say if it was a bad feeling, you might just miss out the gut completely. You might say, "Oh, but I have a bad feeling about this." You might say that, and you might actually say a bad feeling, and just not use gut at all. So the idea of a gut feeling is just intuition, a sense. I have a sense that I can't explain that there's something unusual here, or there's something is going to happen.
okay.
Okay.
And the second, it's also some idioms or some phrase. Draw a blank. You immediately draw a blank. It's a
Yes.
second.
Draw a blank. Yes, I think I was going to mention that one. There we go. So it's just there. So draw a blank. Let's actually search that one. So with this one here, basically the meaning is you've searched for something and you've not really come up with the answer. Let's say elicit no successful response. Fail. So it's basically a failure. The search drew a blank, so it was a fail. They failed to find what they were looking for in that sense. A failure, basically. Anything else?
I don't know if I am correct.
Okay.
Read um, nebulous kind of, or some kind of nebulous leading up
I
to
think
relationship stage.
I think when you read it out, it sounded pretty good. I think when you originally read it out, but I think you're saying it slightly differently. So it's not quite that way. It's more nebulous, nebulous.
Nebulous.
Yeah, it's not quite perhaps I misled you a little bit there. So nebulous, nebulous. So it's more, although it looks like less, it's more like less, nebulous.
Nebulous.
So we have a dictionary. Let's pop it into the dictionary to get their perspective. I think most people say this nebulous. That's the suffix ortho already there. Let's type in nebulous. So yes, yeah, nebul. Yeah, that's how there's that little code there. So it seems to be exactly the same.
Nebulous.
Yeah, nebulous. Okay. So if you describe something as nebulous, you mean that it is vague and not clearly defined or not easy to describe. I think nebulous is some clouds have and some types of clouds have a similar name. So there's this idea of it being a cloud. If you think about trying to describe a cloud to somebody, the shape of a cloud, it'd be very difficult. Okay, so I think that's where the name for the clouds come from, I think, isn't it? Or one or two of them anyway. Anything else? You're asking some good questions here, I think. Mm.
Amid, am, am, amid. Uh, it's something middle. Amidst.
Yeah, it
Amidst.
is basically in the middle is what it means. So you've got mid. That's sort of where it comes from. It's a really old word, but it does mean effectively somewhere in the middle. But it's normally said as amidst, a, amidst. Let's copy it and pop it into the dictionary as well. It's interesting. A very, very old word. This is an ancient word. Long history. Amidst. Amidst. Let's listen to how they say it.
amidst,
Yeah. I suppose the DST is a bit tricky. So do you fancy just saying it a couple of times, Michael? So listen to it once again.
amidst,
Can you hear that? Amidst.
Amidst.
Yeah. That's it.
Amidst.
Yeah, your first one was pretty good actually. That's it. Amidst. Yeah.
Amidst.
Yeah. It's a bit tricky, isn't it? The DST. That's a tricky bit, isn't it? So I think I'm sort of saying uh, a mid and then putting a st on the end of it. Amidst. So I'm saying amidst. So try and think of it that way if it's tricky for anyone. So try and say the amid bit, amid, and put the st on, then on the end. So amid,
Amid.
yeah, that's it. And once more, the whole thing.
Amidst.
That,
Amidst.
yeah, that's it. I think the first one again. The first one then was really good actually. Yeah, I think you have it basically. Well done. That is a tricky word, so maybe practice that in an hour or so. Because we tend to forget, so practice it in an hour or so. Set it on your watch or on your phone, I should say. Another one I noticed was this one here. How about that one for you? Do you want to say that one a couple of times, Michael?
Ado adolescence. Adolescence.
Your last one was pretty good. That's it. So yes, so it's adolescence. Adolescence.
Adolescence.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think the TS didn't sound quite right on the end. It sounded a bit too strong. So if we miss off the S, just forget the S for the moment. And so if it's just one, so an adolescent is a teenager basically, something like a teenager. It's another word. There's another word for a teen or a teenager. So do you want to just say adolescent, adolescent a couple of times, adolescent?
Adolescent. Adolescent.
Yeah, you've got that.
Ad-
That's it. Yeah, and again maybe with the S this time maybe.
Adolescence.
Yeah, you've got it. You've got it. Yeah. Okay. Maybe the slightly, I was going to say tricky, but it sounds very much like the word we've just been practicing. So that's adolescent. If I get rid of the T and put CE there, so this is the state of being um, an adolescent. So this is adolescence. So it simply sounds like you got the S on the end again, doesn't it? So this word, well, let's put an S there. So the plural here sounds very similar to this one. So these are the two variants we sort of mainly come across, and they both sound very similar, really. So you can. Do you want to try to say both of these? They're basically the same sound. Do you want to practice both of these, Michael?
Adolescence.
Yeah,
Adolescence.
yeah.
Adolescence.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. They're basically the same. You can't really tell the difference. I can't tell the difference. So that's it. That's good. You've got it. You've got it. Well done. Very good. Um, there was something about that draw a blank. I think it was when you said that. I think it was the word draw. Can you just say the word draw for me again, or perhaps that little idiom there, draw a blank. Say it again for me.
Draw a blank.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good actually. So it's just the draw. So just say
Draw.
draw. Say draw again. So draw. You'll go.
Draw.
Yeah,
Draw.
yeah. That's pretty much it. I would say. Yeah. I think that some people do find that a bit tricky, that sound. So maybe anyone, perhaps if you're listening to this and you think I'm not too good on that, do practice that one. But you're quite good on that, Michael. But I think when you first of all read it out, it didn't sound quite right. So maybe practice it a little bit too, Michael. I think. And at the begin, anything else? Just if there's anything else you see, just ask. It wasn't that one. I think it was this one, wasn't it? So, do you finish?
There.
Yeah, that's it. There, there. I think you sort of you almost said there are. Of course, it really means there are, as in they are. Um, they are, I should say. So, and I think you sort of 'cause when it's like written that way, of course, it's a contraction. They've shortened it down to make it simpler in a way, but it makes it more complex too, you could say. So let's just have a quick look at that maybe. Of course, there's three words that make the same sound here, aren't there? So do you want to say it a couple more times? So there, there. Do you want to say it a couple more goes?
There. There.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, just say there, basically. That's it. You've got it. But I think when you read it out, I think you sort of, I think you're the re bit on the end. You sort of changed it a little bit. It wasn't quite. It was good enough to be honest. I could understand it, but you just wanted to be a little bit practice, I think, on that one. Um, and I did notice at the beginning. Remember, I think last couple of times I mentioned about the ng
Mm,
sound, and I think it was probably there. I think it was spending, and this one check-in. So it's just this the N you weren't quite making the NG sound, but when you got to hear this word, I think you said this word that sounded pretty good, I think. So you made the NG sound quite well there. So hope you don't mind, but let's quick look at that. So it's the word if I can spell it correctly. Yes, talking, talking. So one thing I've mentioned before is that a lot of words, if it ends in ing, it's nice or handy in a way to practice the from the K onwards if you want to practice the ing sound. So another way of practicing that is just simply to say the word or practice the word king because it's half king is half of the word talking. It's slightly different, I guess, really, but it's pretty much the same. So is it okay, Michael, if you just say the word king a few times? So king, king. Do you want to say practice that a couple of times?
Keen. Keen.
Yeah,
Keen.
yeah, the middle one was quite good. Do you want to say a couple more times? So I'm saying king, king, king. Practice it again a little bit.
Keen. Keen. Keen.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds pretty good, I would say. It is a tricky sound to get. Do you think you understand how you're getting the sound, Michael, or do you think maybe you're not really sure how you're getting it, or so how are you making the sound? Is what I'm really getting at. Do you feel confident that you know what you're
I tr
doing, or is it just a mystery to you?
I try my tongue touch touch
Hmm.
my pail with my tongue.
Do you mean
Can,
your palate?
mm, mm,
When we say
uh,
you touch your palate with your tongue. Is that what you mean?
well, it,
So the palate is the roof of your mouth, basically.
yeah.
Oh, my spelling's terrible. Forgive my spelling, everybody. Okay. Yes, that's it. But the key thing is it's where you're touching the roof of your mouth with your tongue. To get the NG sound, which is its own special little sound, I don't think well, it's you have to touch the roof of your mouth with the back of your tongue, and that's quite tricky. It's easy to touch the top of your mouth or the roof of your mouth with your tongue. You know, use the tip of your tongue. But with the NG sound, it has to be the back of the tongue. And the further back you can do it, the clearer the sound is, I would suggest. If you're doing it with the front of your tongue, touching the roof of your mouth, you end up just getting kin, kin, kin. And the further back you can go, it sounds more like king, king. It isn't 100. It isn't very clear here, but maybe do another word. So missed out a G there. Sinning. Is there a G? Yeah, there we go. There's G. So it's got the NG twice here. This is. I think this is a tricky sound. So singing, singing. Can you just try singing for a little bit, maybe? Singing.
Singing, singing,
Yeah. Uh,
singing,
ah,
singing,
yeah. You sort of
singing.
you're in the area, but sometimes it sounds like you're saying, "Whoops," sinning, and I can't. And sometimes the G on the end disappears, so it sounds like sinning, sinning. So you're half there, and then you lose it a bit. So yeah, you're almost getting it now. I think that's good. So maybe we'll practice it a little bit more in the future, but we'll leave that for the moment. I think. Okay, let's think. Was there anything else you wanted to look at? Anything else? Well, how about that word there? Do you know the meaning of that word? I think you pronounced it reasonably well. Actually, that's pretty good. I thought. Do you know what it means though?
Burgeoning.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
develop rapidly.
Something developing. Yeah, that's really it. Really. So if something is growing or developing, that's burgeoning. But specifically, really, it does need to be something normally that's something that's new and growing. So if you had it in it's springtime, you might say your garden is burgeoning with flowers because it's springtime. They're just new and they're growing. That's the idea. But if something is old and it's in the middle of its life, you probably wouldn't call it burgeoning, or you wouldn't normally call it burgeoning. So it's new and growing normally. Specifically, I should really say. Blank, nebulous. So let's quickly do nebulous again. So nebulous, nebulous.
Nebulous,
Yeah.
nebulous, nebulous.
And maybe this little saying here, draw a blank, draw a blank.
Draw a blank, draw a blank.
Yeah, so it's draw, draw.
Draw, draw a
Yes.
blank.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's sounding really good. Your draw sounds pretty good, actually. That's it. That's it. And maybe this tricky one down here again. Remember how we said it? Do you remember?
Amidst,
Oh,
amidst,
that's it.
amidst.
Amidst. That's it. That's it. You had it. That's it. That's it. I think you got it really. And you have that one too. What's that one again?
Adolescence.
Yeah, that's it. Adolescence. You've got it. And then we had this little phrase here. Any idea what that means? This is,
Intents and purposes.
yeah,
Pur-
yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
Yes. That's how you say it. So for all intents and purposes. But what does it mean? What does that little phrase mean? Gets used quite a
Uh,
bit.
hmm,
I'm going to cheat and use Google, I think. You've got half a second. It's coming. It's coming. So here we go. So scribbler.co.uk says, for all intents and purposes is an expression meaning essentially or in effect. It is used to say that something has the same outcome or result as something else. So similar to something else or pretty much the same as something else. Example. So there's examples. For all intents and purposes in a sentence, for all intents and purposes, this is an introductory course. Okay. In other words, it means effectively saying basically, or it's pretty much the same as something else. Okay.
mhm.
Okay. I think we'll leave it there. That was good. Any questions from anybody else? Or any more from you, Michael? Anyone from anyone else as well?
I haven't.
I think so. Just finally, how would you say this little bit here? These three words I've highlighted, Michael.
Kids relationship status.
Status. Yeah, so there's probably a couple ways of saying that. Most people in England wouldn't say status, or would they? I think the other way of saying it is status. So status and status. Most people say
Status,
status. Yeah, I think. But
status.
I wonder if I'm not sure if the other one's American really. Okay, so we'll scroll on now. If that's okay. Okay, so over to Rosa. That's right. Yeah, Rosa, you were next. Do you fancy reading this little bit here? Looks like we're going to overrun, guys. I'm sorry to say. Your go.
Um, what is a situationship?
Hmm.
Put simply, a situationship is an emotional, romantic, or sexual relationship that doesn't have a label because it's not a committed or formal relationship, says Barbara Greenberg, mm, PhD, a teen and family psychologist in Connecticut. It can look a lot of different ways. Someone in a situationship might say things like, we are hanging out or we are talking, but not refer to the other person as their girlfriend, boyfriend, or partner. These relationships can run the gamut from flirty friendships to relationships that involve dates and romantic feelings, but don't have any kind of actual level or pressure to commit, and sometimes might not be monogamous either, which could be concerning for parents of teens who are exploring their sexuality. These, these kinds of relationships are much more common than official ones among high school students, says a 17-year-old James, not his real name, adding that many people his age don't seem to feel really ready for more commitment.
Yes, nice reading. Very, very nice. Well done. Well done. Very good. Anything you want to go back over again there, just to double check, or not sure the meanings of words, etc. Or pronunciations?
um, Label, I don't know what is this label in the first paragraph.
Okay.
Have a
Oh,
label.
that word there.
Yeah,
Oh yes. When you said the word, I was yes. So this is label.
label.
Yes. Label.
Label.
Yeah. Let's pop it in here. Hmm. Okay. So label. So a piece of paper or plastic that is attached to an object in order to give information about it. So you might have a name label. If you go to a shop, people might have a name label on them with their name on it, a label with their name on it. And a tin of beans will have a label on it saying that it's a tin of beans when you go to the shops. That's a
Mhm.
label. So that's there basically. Okay. So here it's about a label about relationships. That's what they're saying here. Anything else at all? So label. Anything else?
Gamut. Can run the gamut.
Oh yes. So I was going to mention this too. So that's gamut. Gamut.
Gamut.
And it's normally a saying, or that's probably an idiom really. Run the gamut is the saying. Run the gamut. So
Run the gamut.
run the gamut. So try again. Run the gamut.
Run the gamut.
Yeah, your gamut's pretty good. Your the is needs a bit of practice, I would say. Your the needs a bit of practice. Let's say the whole thing again, and it's the is a bit out. So run the gamut. And again?
Run the gamut.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yes. Do you know what it means? I guess you don't know, do you? Presumably. Does anyone know what run the gamut means? Oh, it's just come up on the screen. Here we go. So experience, display, or perform the complete range of something. Is it? Yeah, sort of. I don't always agree with their definitions sometimes. So what does it mean to run the gamut? So this is Collins's dictionary. They're pretty good normally. Phrase: to run the gamut of something means to include, express, or experience all the different things of that kind, or a wide variety of them. Yeah, okay, we'll go for that one there. So I think the feeling is going through all the bad things, all the good things, and all the mediocre things. I suppose that's probably how you could. Oh, that's interesting. So is it run the gauntlet or run or gamut? That's interesting. So to run the gamut is to go through the whole scale or spectrum of something. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. To run the gauntlet, also gauntlet, is to run between two lines of people who are trying to beat you. So to run the gauntlet is a bad experience, and run the gamut is something more in the middle. Okay. I noticed this word. I think when you said that word, it sounded a little bit out. Can you say that one again for me, Rosa?
Flirty.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. Flirty, more flirty. That's it. Flirty.
Flirty. Flirty.
Yes, flirty. And again, flirty.
Flirty.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. So the base word, the root word is flirt. I missed out the T there. So flirt, that's it. And you just put a T sound on the end of it. Flirty. Okay, anything else at all? There's label again.
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. What did I notice? So if I go back to that name, let's miss out the PhD. So I would say that name is Barbara Greenberg. Barbara Greenberg. So so it looks like bar, then an extra A on the end, but it is normally pronounced as Barbara Greenberg. Can you just say it again like that for me?
Barbara Greenberg. It's very difficult.
Yeah, maybe just the Barbara at the moment. So Barbara.
Barbara.
Yeah.
Barbara
Yeah.
Greenberg.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And maybe it's uh, the Berg isn't quite clear enough at the end. So the color green sounds quite clear when you're saying it, but the Berg bit is just a bit lacking. I can't quite catch it. So do you want to say the surname again? So Greenberg. Whole thing again. That's it.
Greenberg.
Yeah. Okay.
Greenberg.
Yeah, I think that's it, Ray. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's good enough, I think, isn't it? And then maybe so teen. So when they say teen here, what do they mean by that? 18. What do they mean by that, Rosa?
Teen. Adolescence.
Yeah, they mean an adolescent. Yeah, a person, an adolescent.
Adolescent.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. So I think when you said the teen, is one of those words which it's hard to distinguish sometimes between this word and say some other words. So so sometimes I think when people say it, they try to really emphasize it. A teen, a teen,
A teen.
teen. Um, it, the vowel in the middle, it sounds vowel in the middle. It's just slightly out, I would say. It sounds to me like saying a tin, or a little bit that way, but it's more a teen, a teen.
Teen.
Yeah, that's it. That's better. That's it. Spot on. Teen. That's it. A teen. That's it. You got it.
Teen. Yeah.
Teen. A teen.
Teen.
Okay. And the very last time you said it just then, I couldn't really hear the T at the beginning, so be careful of that.
Okay.
Anything else? Oh, there was that word there. So,
Yeah.
do you know the meaning of the word?
Yes.
Okay.
A person who has only one partner.
Yeah, that's it. At a time. Okay, that's it. So, and it's monogamous. Monogamous. That's the English way.
Monogamous.
It's just the ending bit, and this is how you read it out. You're saying moose a little bit, moose. But when I'm reading it, I'm more saying monogamous. I'm saying more like us, I think, really. Monogamous. Not really moose.
Monogamous.
Yeah, monogamous. Yeah, that's it, monogamous.
Monogamous.
That, yeah, you're all pretty much there now, monogamous. That's it. So just the ending wasn't quite right, but I think you pretty much have it now. There was a couple of other things. Oh, I think it was, you just said it just then, so it was the word partner. You just said the word partner, and that was here too, and I can't see it now. So let me just type it up. So have I spelled it correctly? Oh, I have. I'm always amazed when I spell things correctly. So is this word down here? Can you just say this again for me, down here?
Partner. No, I don't know. Partner.
It sounds a bit American, the way you're saying that sometimes. We don't really see, most of the time you said partner. Yeah, partner. We don't really say it that way. In England, we say partner. Partner.
Partner. Partner. Partner.
So
Partner.
I think I am saying part. I think I am saying that. So I'm saying no, partner. Partner.
Partner.
Let's
Partner.
pop it into the dictionary. Let's hear a different voice saying it. Maybe if a different voice, sometimes if you hear a different way of saying it, that sometimes makes it a little bit easier. And of course, for some reason, I think maybe because I used the capital at the beginning. So they're going to say alliance partner here for some reason. Let's listen to them now. Alliance partner.
Alliance partner.
Yes, they are saying part and then n, partner. That's what they're saying. Can you just try it again? So partner, partner.
Partner.
Yeah, I think you're overdoing it now. You're overdoing it now, I would say. So let's listen to them again, just the partner bit.
Partner.
Partner.
Can you hear them saying partner? Can you hear the lady just saying it just then? Can you hear it?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, okay. Let's listen to her again once more.
Partner.
Do you want to copy that?
Partner.
Yeah.
Partner.
Yeah, it's where the emphasis is really. I think they're putting emphasis on this little bit here. Partner. Partner. And I think you're splitting the word here. You're saying part and then ner. And I think I'm just saying partner. Okay, so let's listen again.
Partner.
Partner. Try that.
Partner.
Yeah, that's better.
Partner.
The first one then was pretty good actually. So maybe this is one just to practice. And so they're emphasizing this bit. They're making more emphasis on the vowel sound here, and they're linking the two sounds together. And sometimes you'll put a slight gap in that. I mean, I'm doing that too, but I'm not emphasizing it, I think. So partner, partner. You'll go partner.
Partner.
Okay, maybe practice that when you have a spare couple of minutes. Don't spend any longer than 2 or 3 minutes, even just 2 minutes maybe. Okay, so anything else? There was a couple of other things. So we did label, teen. Connecticut. I think when you got here, I think this is a contraction, so they've shortened it, but they've only taken one letter away, really. And I think you expanded it when you read it out. So if I was to say that little bit in quotes again, I would say, "We're talking, we're talking." Can you just say that again for me? So, "We're talking." You'll go.
We're talking.
And
We're talking.
okay. Yeah, that.
We're
Yeah.
w-
And again.
we're talking.
Okay. The last time you're sort of halfway, but you're almost saying "are" on the end. We are.
Yes.
You're almost saying "we are." You can sort of do that. Doesn't really matter, but it is nice to try and get it, say it the way it's written. And also, when you're saying this word here, I can. It sounds like you're just saying talking, talking. So in other words, you're not quite getting the ng sound quite right. So I was just talking to Michael about the how to do the ng. So hopefully, if you could perhaps play back the recording and practice the ng sound. Do you think you're okay doing the ng sound, or do you want practice now, or what? Or
Uh,
next time, maybe?
Yeah, next time.
We'll go back to the recording. So maybe tomorrow, or the day after, the recording will come up, and listen to what I say to Michael at the very beginning of the recording, just a few minutes ago, and
O-
think about those things. Okay. So I can't think of anything else. Any questions from anybody else, or any more from you, Rosa? There was a couple of other things, but I can't think what they
No,
were.
no, from me. For me.
There was something. Okay. There was something at the end, but I can't think what it was. So I'll have to scroll on then. Okay. Thanks very much, Rosa.
Thank you.
So, okay. So, we're coming to the middle bit of the story where they have the little advert here. So, Seldar, I forget your name. Sorry. Was it Seldar? Are you still with us? I know somebody dropped out, so maybe Seldar's not with us. Elena, are you with us?
She's
Oh,
gone.
yeah, someone's have met. Oh, Elena. Sorry, Tony, I had to leave now. Yeah, someone had to leave. Yeah, that was Elena. So, and someone else. Yeah, so it's three of us now. So it's Michael and Rosa. Okay. Um, so Michael, do you fancy a quick reading here? This little bit's on the screen now. So it starts with the title, "This Type of Relationship."
This type of relationship is common among teens these days. While people's definitions of situationship may vary, he believes they typically start out the way any other relationship would, with a talking talking stage, the period when two people get to know each other before uh, deciding to official date, or a lot of casual texting and flirting, but then transition into a more vague, unlabeled dynamic where the two people hang out, text, and hook up without discussing what the relationship means to either of them. In some cases, a situationship can eventually lead to an official relationship, says Greenberg, but in many instances, it can also lead to pain, heartbreak, or confusion.
Good reading, really good, very good. And I noticed when you came up to the ing words, two or three of them, you had a couple of goes at it. And your first go, you got the ing was a little bit out. And the second time you did it, you seemed to get it better. So that was good. Well done. Brilliant. I think discussing was one of them. Whoops. And there was a talking here somewhere. And you did talking to us. That was good. That was good. Well done. Anything you want to ask about this little bit here? Anything you want to ask?
Deciding.
Deciding. Yeah. So deciding. So making a decision about something.
What difference between hang out and hook up?
I was hoping no one was going to ask these questions. Okay, so where I did
It's
notice in the middle somewhere, isn't
it's
it? Oh, hookup, yeah.
it's yes, hook up.
So your question was what, sorry?
Um, in my mind, it's hang out and hook up. It's the similar meaning. Am I
Um,
right or I'm wrong?
I would say no. Hanging out is something quite different from hookup, I would say. Hanging out is having coffee, walking around, doing things together.
Spend time together. Yeah.
Yeah, spend time together, perhaps in public, might be in private. But hookup is much, much more basically sex. I would say hookup is sex, basically. That's what I would.
Uh,
But that's the American meaning. So maybe it's a bit different the further across elsewhere in Europe. So let's quickly just search this. So this is, I think this is an American article. So I probably shouldn't have searched this really. So hookup culture is one that accepts and encourages casual sexual relationships. So that's a hookup culture. So it's definitely that sort of way minded, I would guess. Yeah. But that's it. Yeah, but I would say it's yeah, well, maybe there's different in different places. Because this is Google I've just asked that question to, so that's going to give a slightly different answer to what other people might give. Anything else at all there? My voice is going.
no.
Very little. I had very little to say actually. Oh, having said that, there's
Mm.
a V word here, but it was brilliant. It was very good. I couldn't. It was fantastic. I couldn't improve on it. Very good. Very. That was perfect. But I did notice there was a second word with a V somewhere in the middle, and that. Oh, there it is. There, this one, and it came out like the V came out like a little bit like a W. But that one was fantastic. So good. That was brilliant. So do you want to just say that one again, just to practice?
Vague.
Yes, that's spot on. Vague. You couldn't be any stronger or more definite about that vague word. That's it. That's it. Very good. Um, and some of the NGs you had, and I think a couple weren't quite there, but you're definitely getting it. Um, and maybe so there was this lady, I can't remember her first name. Oh, it was Barbara, wasn't it? So she seems to be like the expert. So you just said the surname again, that surname?
Greenberg.
Uh, Yeah,
Greenberg.
yeah, I just heard it then. So the G seemed a bit dead both times. So when it's written this way, we say it quite strongly as Berg on the end. Berg. Greenberg. So it's a bit like iceberg. We have an iceberg. It's said the same sort. It's quite strong, the berg on the end. So this is a Greenberg. That was really good. I can't improve on that. Such a good reading. Let me just read the whole thing through again, and maybe you, in your mind, mouth it at the same time, and maybe that will bring out a couple of things. But I'll just read it back again from the top then. So this type of relationship is common among teens these days. Um, while while people's definitions of situationships may vary, he believes they typically start out the way any other relationship would, with a talking stage. The period when the when t- I think that should be a W there, when two people. So the period when two people get to know each other before deciding to officially date. or a lot of or a lot of casual texting and flirting, but then transition into a more vague, unlabeled dynamic where the two people hang out, text, and hook up, but without discussing what the relationship means to either of them. In some cases, a situationship can eventually lead to an official relationship, says Greenberg, but in many instances, it can also lead to pain, heartbreak, or confusion. That's just relationships, isn't it, really? Can go into confusion or heartbreak, pain, etc. Any other questions, or does that bring out anything you want to ask about?
But very? What is very?
Vary.
Yes.
So when something is changing, it's varying. It's varying.
Okay.
If you're increasing something or lowering something, you're varying it. So you might try various ways to solve a problem. Vary. That's the meaning there. Okay?
Yes.
Great.
Mm.
What about the word dynamic, Michael? What does dynamic mean, do you think, to you anyway?
Dynamic, it's not on place. It's not staying in place. It's de developing rapidly, moving
Yes, yes, that's it. That's it, really. Yes, and I think that's
forward,
exactly
moving
what that.
forward.
Yes. So here it says unlabeled dynamic. So they're sort of using it as a noun, aren't they? I think. I think they are anyway. So let me just type dynamic in here. And so this is that's an interesting word, isn't it? Dynamic. So dynamic force, headroom, braking, contrast, dynamic duo. So dynamic. If you describe someone as dynamic, you approve of them because they are full of energy or full of new and exciting ideas. Yeah, if someone is dynamic, you might say that. And the word dynamite, it comes from the same root. It means, if you think about dynamite, when it blows up, there's a lot of power and excitement in that, isn't there? So a lot of energy in it, you could say. So they come from the same root anyway.
It's Greece word. It's from origin from Greece,
Yes, that is a Greek. Yes, it's a Greek
and
word. Does it say that?
dynamos. It's power, maybe a power or
Yes,
movement.
yes, yes, that's it. Yeah. Let's scroll down and see what it says exactly, if anything. They're saying it comes from us from the French, but they get it from the Greek, don't they? Dynamikos. They're saying dynamikos means power from dynamis, power. Dynamis. Yes, you're able to be able. That's interesting. Dynamis. Or dunamis. Is it dunamis? I'm not sure how to pronounce that really. Dunamis, probably, possibly. Okay, we got it. Well done. Okay, let's scroll on. So it's back to you, Rosa. That's okay. Let's see if we can give you a slightly longer one here. Just a bit of a short one. So I just read the title out, and then I'll scroll down so give you a bit more to read. So what to do if your kid is in a situationship? Okay. So do you fancy reading it again, Rosa? So it starts out with situationships can be painful.
Yes. Situationships can be painful, but if your teen tells you that they are in one, don't panic. First of all, you should feel honored that your child is comfortable sharing the details of their love life with you, especially if they are there, excuse me, difícil, in a confusing or unofficial dating dynamic, says Gilly Kahn, PhD, a clinical psychologist in Georgia. That said, it's natural to feel worried that your kid is headed for heartbreak or is potentially engaging in an unsafe sex. Here's how experts recommend you handle your concerns and how to support your teenager while they're in, in this all too common relationship dynamic. Hmm?
Okay. Okay, we'll stop in there. That's okay. Okay, so a good reading. I could understand everything there. Well done. Very good. So this is definitely an American article because in Britain we put a U right there, and so they spelt this the American way. So it seems very much definitely American, I would say. Anything you want to ask about that a little bit there, or anything you want to check, pronunciation or meaning wise? And of course, Georgia is in America too, isn't it? So that's quite clear now.
No, it's very clear.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Yes.
Okay, so so that word again. So do you want to just say that word again? That's there.
Honored.
Yes, that's it.
Honored.
So the H at this time is silent. That's it. So honored, honored.
Honored.
Yeah, honored.
Honored.
Yeah, your D on the end. I think most people pronounce that as a duh. I said yeah, but it sounds like a T where you're saying it. But most people would say that as a duh on the end, I think. So if I'll say it again a couple of times and listen, am I saying a duh or a tuh? I think it's a duh. Let's listen. So honored, honored, honored. Yeah, it's definitely a D. So try and make a D on the end if you can. Again, maybe.
Honored. 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 I don't know. It's
Yeah.
D. Honored.
It, yes, sometimes it is a T sound on the end for some words. For some words, it is a T sound. When it's ed like that. But this is one of those occasions when I think it's more of a duh sound, honored. Okay, I think the ruling is, and I can't exactly remember the rules that. So whichever, sometimes it's a T and sometimes it's a D sound. But I think, as I understand it, it relates to the sound, the letter which is on the end there. And I think when it's an R, it is just a D. I think most of the time, as far as I'm aware. But I might be talking rubbish. Um, Oh, let's just leave that one for the moment because I think you'll get that eventually. And it isn't vital, but it's just it's sort of a detail, I would say, with honored. So you'll get it eventually, I think. So just that name again, maybe. It's a little bit tricky, the name, but how would you say it again?
Gigi. Kahn. Gigi. Gigi.
So I would say that as Gilly, strangely, Gilly Kahn. Kahn. We'll try again. So Gilly Kahn. You'll go.
Gilly Kahn.
That's it.
Gilly Kahn.
And it's sort of Khan. It's more of an Islamic name, I think, isn't it? Khan, I think.
Gilly Kahn.
So although it's an H, if you pretend it's an R, maybe, so it's Khan, Khan, Gilly Khan. Do you want to try it again? Khan.
Gilly Kahn. Kahn.
Yeah, that's it. The last one, Khan. That's it. That's it. You've got it now. You've got
Kahn.
it. The H it's confusing. The H we don't really pronounce it that way. It's just the way it's done. It's not really originally a British name, but it's come into Britain and also America too, of course, in this case. The other one I noticed was maybe this word here. Do you want to say that word again? Yes, it was a little bit out, I think, this time, that one.
Engaging.
Almost.
Engaging.
You've got the N bit right. You got the bit. This first is right. First little bit right, but the GAG is not there. So it's engaging, engaging. And again,
Engaging.
mm-hmm.
Engaging.
I think you have it now. That's it. Engaging. So when a man and woman want to get married, normally in the West anyway, they get engaged to start with. Engage.
Yes,
People get
engage.
engaged. That's it. And that's the same word. It's slightly different meaning here, of course, in this case. Engaged. And maybe we did teen before. Maybe the whole word this time. Do you want this word here again?
Teenager. Teenager.
Your second one was the best one. Let me try for you. So teenager. Teenager. You'll go. Teenager.
Teenager. Teenager.
Your first one was the best one there. We'll try your. Yeah, you're almost getting it. You're almost getting it now. So teenager, teenager. You'll go.
Teenager.
You'll go. Teenager. You'll go.
Teenager. Ahora,
It
now,
wasn't too bad. Teenager. So it's the teen again, and then just ager on the end of it. Teen, and then ager. Teenager.
teenager.
And again.
Teenager.
Yeah.
Teenager.
Yeah, I think you've pretty much got it. But if you speed it up a little bit, you'll really have it. So you're kind of doing it slowly, and you got it right. But it's speeding it up is the tricky bit, isn't it? You'll get it eventually. You'll get it eventually. You're pretty much there anyway, really, to be honest. Um, I think also there's that word there, thinking about it. So, yes. Should I try it again, that one?
Unofficial.
Oh, that's better. That's pretty much it, actually, yes. So I think when you read it out first, we said oon. I think it's oon when you read it out. So yes, but you've got it now. So I'll say it again for you. So unofficial, unofficial, and once more, unofficial.
Unofficial.
Yeah, you've got it now. You've got
Unofficial.
it. That's it. Yeah, just a slip of the tongue, probably. At the beginning, you said oon. I think at the beginning, but that's it. Anything else you want to practice again? Anything else you want to practice again from there? Um,
Mm, no.
okay. Okay, so maybe let's just practice that little bit there. Whoops, that bit there. So if I read it to you, then it's your go. So your kid is headed for heartbreak. Your kid is headed for heartbreak. So your go.
Your kid is headed for heartbreak.
Yeah.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You've got it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's what I noticed first time. Yes, you've got it. So your kid is headed for heartbreak. What does it mean? What does that mean, that little phrase? What does it mean?
Uh, your your kid is crazy. Is no. It's headed.
Mm-hmm.
Um. mm, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so if you're headed for somewhere, it means you're traveling there. If I'm heading towards London, it means I'm traveling to London, let's say, or anywhere, of course. But here it's a little bit more metaphysical, because saying headed for heartbreak. So what does it mean now, do you think? So what's heartbreak, I guess? So what does it mean then, the whole thing, do you think now?
Heartbreak. Heartbreak.
Mm.
When your heart is broken. No.
Right. So what does the
Mm.
whole thing mean, do you
Not
think?
not literal, not literally. It's a figurative. Figurative.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Very upset.
Yeah, that's it, Michael. Yes, upset. But if it's heartbreak, normally that's a relationship, or basically pretty much always a relationship, isn't it? If you've got a broken heart, it's not because you broke a pencil or you crashed your car, unless you were in love with your car. Normally, if it's heartbreak, it's because a relationship has come to an end and you're unhappy about it. So your child is heading towards a broken or ended relationship.
Uh,
I haven't really explained that very well, but there you go.
very sad.
Yeah, but that's life, isn't it? If you haven't
Yes.
had a heartbreak, you probably haven't had any relationships. Right? 'Cause but it's almost normal to have at least one heartbreak, I suppose. You're a bit too isolated if you haven't had any heartbreaks. That doesn't make it any easier to deal with, of course, but there you go. That was a great reading, really good. Well done, well done. Oh, having said that, I did notice a couple of times, and not just this one here, but the previous reading above. Some of the times when it was the word that, I think you said the th was out, wasn't quite there. And I can't remember how you said it now. I can't remember if you said zat or dat. So be aware that the th is slipping up on your th sounds a good number of times. So just once or twice, it's a fair number of times, really. maybe 6 or 7 times when you were reading today, the TH came out wrong, I would say. Most
Yes.
people will understand what you're saying. They'll understand it. But if you want to improve your accent, one thing to concentrate on would be the TH. And it is one of the tricky sounds in English, TH.
How is the pronunciation?
So this particular word is that. That.
That,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. That's good. Yes, that's it. That. But I'm just saying you slipped up a few times, a number of times when you're reading it. That's it. So I think one of them was a the, and this particular one was quite strong when you said it. It was very strong when you said it. So that's why I brought it up now, I think. So maybe we'll finish with the reading. So does anyone want to talk about their heartbreaks? Or is it too personal? Would you be too sorrowful if you share them? Everyone's gone silent.
What do you mean? You would like talk about some heartbreak experience?
So when I say heartbreaks, I mean, have you had any situations where you really like somebody, maybe you even love them, but they weren't in the slightest bit interested in you? Or maybe they were interested in you and then eventually it ended, and you still like them. That's normally a heartbreak. You like them, they don't like you, and the relationship ends. That's normally a heartbreak, isn't it? Sometimes it helps, I think, to talk about heartbreaks. And of course, sometimes it might not do if it's too fresh. If it's too fresh, if it's an old one, it can be easier to talk about, I find.
Yeah.
The older, the better. So, is this good advice? What do you think about the morals of this? Do you have good morals or weak morals, do you think? Is it good advice, bad advice? What they were saying in here.
I don't understand the question.
So the whole what we've just been reading, it sort of is talking about this thing called situationships. And what they're
Yes.
really saying is this is how kids now talk about relationships. That's their word for relationships, in a sense, isn't it? But this article we're reading, it's pointed towards parents in particular, who presumably have these children in these situations. So is this article giving the parents good advice, or is it bad advice? So would you give children or other people this advice, or was it bad advice? Yes or no, maybe. Or do you not remember what they said?
Yeah. Of course, it's this article is uh, gave a good advice, gives a good advice to parents, but honestly, mm, mm, from it's my opinion.
Hmm.
It's nothing special. There are nothing special in this article
Yeah.
because yes, it's maybe new terminology like
Yes.
situationship, but as I know, for example, in 60s, 70s, it's called sex, drugs, and rock and rolls, free sex, and when I was a teenager, um, my parents also taught me
Mm.
and talked me about sexual relationship. Um, and as I know, today in many schools, there is there is some lessons calls sexual education when teachers teach teenager how to use condoms, to avoid some venereological disease and pregnancy. So
Yes, I think. Yeah, for me the article is good, but I prefer my personal experience
Yes.
to talk about. Yeah, personal experience I think is better than the article. I
But
don't know.
of course, it's talking about teenagers, so they won't have much experience. So it's just it's sort of advice, isn't it? Yeah. I agree with what you're saying, though. I do agree. I agree with you both, actually. Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Rosa?
No, but the experience of the parents,
Hmm.
no, to the teenagers. I think you can share your experience with your teenagers, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
the age is different because now is social media,
Hmm.
artificial intelligence, and a lot of things different. And my teenerhood
Teenage. Teenager. I don't think there is such a word as teenager. Not in.
or
When I think
adolescence.
I think we just say when I was a teenager. We don't say teenhood. Um, I don't think we do. Teenhood. It might be a new word. So I've just typed in teenhood. No, it doesn't exist. No, it doesn't exist. It should do.
Doesn't
It says new word suggestion. That's interesting. I'm suggesting it as a new word.
yes,
Okay.
teenhood is very good.
No, no, it doesn't exist.
Adolescence,
Yeah, just
adolescence.
that's it. Adolescence. That's the same thing, isn't it?
In my age, adolescence was really you are in the street all day,
Hmm. Yes.
and there are only um I don't know
Friends.
information in the schools, but now there are information in everywhere.
One problem with that is, of course, when you say everywhere, everywhere, I guess, is social media, isn't it? And there's a lot of rubbish out there as well, isn't there? Awful lot of rubbish out there.
Yeah,
So there is that sort of a problem, isn't there? There's too much out there. And really, it's all about getting attention, isn't it? Of course, with the internet, everything's about attention, grabbing your attention. And they probably give you advice, which is probably not too bad advice, maybe, but it's more about getting people's eyes on a screen. And it's not really about helping people, it's about getting people to sell them something. Although it may look like they're trying to give advice, but they're not really. They're really trying to sell something. Does that make
yeah.
sense? Yes. It's when you look at YouTube, there's always a very catchy pictures and great words up there. And I suppose a lot of them are very genuine, but it's very sort of, I guess it's clickbait, isn't it, in a way? That's one of the problems, I suppose. Um, right.
yeah,
Anything else you want to share or talk about? Any
parents
other?
and school and society must teach, must share this information about sexual relationship to avoid, like I said, some venereological diseases, pregnancy, because when teenager, when hormones play in teenager's body, it's not, nothing stop. Uh, uh, Nothing can stop. Can't stop.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
the
Stop them, you mean?
them, yes,
They
stop
have
them. Yeah,
they have a desire to do something and nothing can stop them. Is that what you mean? Okay.
yeah,
So they want good advice early on. Don't leave your advice too late. Otherwise they're learning without your good advice. Yeah, that's a good point, Michael. Thank you. Very clear.
Yes.
So maybe we'll stop the recording at this point. So I'll bring this little picture up again and I'll try and stop the recording.